So obviously these two are brothers. They used to stream on the same channel as well, like a while back, a way while back. GiveUA being the premier content creator of AoE, if you will. With hashtag content creator being his hashtag, so you guys can spam that in the chat if you want to. GiveUA playing Brits, which is no surprise, his best civ and probably his only civ where he's Colonel, but I know Germany he's Colonel, I guess, as well. But SoldieR, I would say, probably the better of the two from the get-go, at least in terms of tournament performance. But GiveUA no slouch, of course, so there should be quite a close series, especially with SoldieR playing Ottoman, which I haven't really seen him play, honestly. And
so you know what? Yeah. So that intro, I'm just thinking like, only amazing civ for GiveUAnxiety is British, but actually, you know what? No, I have to say, I have actually been impressed with the level of performance of GiveUAnxiety recently, and I've also conversely got to say as well that I think SoldieR isn't actually as well. I think people have been overestimating him. He had a very good end to the Age of Empires 3, the Asian Dynasties game at this point, but. One thing I've noticed is GiveUAnxiety's macro game is just getting better and better, and playing other civilizations giving GiveUAnxiety such more knowledge. But SoldieR is a macro god, but I've noticed that sometimes decisions just not the best. I actually think this is going to be a very, very close series, and my prediction is SoldieR will win the first game because on this, but then GiveUAnxiety come back for the 2-1 sweep. You've heard it here, folks.
Yeah, GiveUA just needs. I mean, if GiveUA gets his game knowledge down, it could possibly top 5 player easily. His macro is micro so good, but yeah, I mean, GiveUA finding 130 coin there. I think that's 130 coin. Yeah, so he could take that quite easily. He has a market, so he could actually buy enough wood for another mana, which is pretty good. But yeah, I mean, SoldieR going for a TP here, pretty standard. Does he go for a mosque? That's pretty important.
He's standing around the second one, but he's obviously working on his 75 food to treasure. In base, he has 1 house and no mosque. So if we look into SoldieR's point of view, he only has 100 wood remaining, which I think if you get lucky with a wood treasure, I know there's a few wood treasures out on the map. There's 2 cows over here, but you can then drop that second trading post in transition, and I think SoldieR's playstyle here and his strategy versus a British player on a 4 trading post map, which goes horizontally across the map, is to get that mid-map control with the outpost, or maybe just quartermaster double buildings and just try and go for the TP line. So I like how SoldieR here is saving that wood instead of building a church, but going for the early TP lines. We have to see how that playstyle progresses. GiveUA picking up 130 coin. Let's look into GiveUAnxiety. Is he going to buy a batch of wood and chop a little bit for another house, another ville to use in transition? I think he's going to save it now. It's getting tight. He's got 3 bisons here to collect from. I think there is enough food to get the age up in, but his extra hunt has kind of walked away quite far already, and that is very risky, especially if you're playing versus a civilization like Ottoman, who have a very strong colonial presence in the Second Age.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to play Age 2, though. The thing you do here as Ottoman is you go for that sort of early FF, go for a forward tower and put pressure on Brit. This map in particular is quite low hunt, actually, so it's surprising GiveUA played Brit on it, but I think you have to play your premier civilization first. Or
well, so the story is, these 2 players, they didn't get a choice. Really, well, they could chat to their team captains and say, "Oh, I don't really want to play this player, or I don't really agree to this map." But it's essentially the team captains who decide the matchups and the map pool. And I was giggling to myself like a little schoolgirl when I found out it was Ottoman versus British on Mexico, because that is not a nice place for Britain to be. It's a 4 TP horizontal TP line with one of the biggest bounties per TP pass. This is not a fun matchup.
See. If I was Ottoman on this map, what I would do versus British is I'd get the TP, which gives you the is it this map New Mexico, which has the TP, which is a ranged cav, the native TP. I think it might be Zapotec actually now.
I think it's changed. Well, actually, yeah. I think it varies, because I did play Optimus on this map and I did get Mapuche and Apache, I think. Yeah. So I think it does vary.
if you get the ranged cav one as Ottoman, you can get ranged cav which does 2.5 versus villagers, and you can just be incredibly annoying. And knowing how GUA plays, I think that would be the best way to play this. But thank you, Adbook ADHBK, for subscribing to Twitch Prime. Again, all the Twitch Prime subscriptions go towards ESOC.
That was a very noble effort to pronounce that one. It's not even you can't even pronounce that. It's got no vowels in it. It's just a random, apart from the A, just a random collection of letters. But you did a good effort.
As a Brit, you have the excuse that if you're British, you can't pronounce anything anyway. So it's pretty fine just to pronounce everything wrong. But actually, I think SoldieR going to go for, by the looks of it, an H2 player. She said not going to go for the TP land. I think.
So he's agent up the quartermaster now. So no coin, no outpost. That's 400 words. He's already sat on this extra trading post, and he'd be a bit surprised to see that GiveUAnxiety has already beat him to it. I think SoldieR, what he's best to do is leave GiveUAnxiety here, say, well done, brother, you have picked up your first trading post on the line, but I'll take the third, and then I'll drop some military buildings right here, and we'll fight over this fourth one as well.
Okay, sorry, someone made a men's vitamins command in chat. But
I don't think that was probably meant to be put there. So somebody's snuck that one in. A good band, so we all love that. Let's have a quick look at SoldieR's deck, because we do see 5 resource crates shipments in the second age, 5 Jans, 3 Hussars, only 1 artillery upgrade card. So it's not the deck I was kind of expecting here to see from SoldieR. He does have the 3 infinite Spahi cards in the third age, though. That's a new card indeed, and that's quite exciting to see.
It's also a horrible card. It's not very good. 3 Spahi as a shipment still costs 600 food, so you're spending 600 food for like basically 3 cuirassiers in H3. It's just not very, very good. The score people are asking is 0-0. This is the first game of the series. SoldieR getting in next trading post there. I quite like that. Gonna go for, by the looks of it, a Janissary play, or maybe he's gonna go for sort of Janissaries in base and actually just age up after this. I quite like.
Yeah, but why is SoldieR dropping Iraqs in base though? This decision here, I don't get. If you're, I don't think you need to be in a defensive mindset here as Ottoman. But if you're having a barracks, then you might as well just have it a little bit forward and put pressure on that trading post. And he's sending coin now, but he hasn't got an artillery foundry behind to make Abus. But he does have the wood crate still gathering up, so we'll have to see if he does go for the artillery foundry. But sitting back in base, he's upgraded in stagecoach now. He's going to try and put some pressure on that trading post. And will GiveUAnxiety move out to defend it? He's moving with 5 pikes, so I guess SoldieR is thinking about whether they just enough units to take full control of an age up behind, I assume. Sending the coin now and gathering food and hoping to get the stagecoach to get the remaining resources. But like you said, if you're going for a age 3 playstyle, which is probably the meta versus British, this is a slow age up time for SoldieR coming in, as he wants to try and get full control over the trading post.
Yeah, which is the difficulty. I mean, he is going to take down that other trading post, but yeah, he should be fine here. The speed's going up a bit.
Yeah, I just skipped forward a little bit there.
But yeah, actually, the problem that the Rex have is you're either in Matrix or you're just in like
Hyper.
Yeah, it's a bit like you're watching a highlight or something.
Well, you can play it fast and have a little soundtrack. Like you see those like Charlie Chaplin 40s, but trading post does go down before the TP comes across, so that's a really good pickup there for SoldieR. GiveUAnxiety thinks he can take on Ottoman Janissaries with British colonial musketeers with no upgrades. He's now learnt the hard way that no, you cannot beat Janissaries in the second age without upgrades. Pikemen were sieging that trading post, but 5 Janissaries come to the rescue there to defend it. I'm sure the repair will come in behind, but 15 Janissaries out from SoldieR, and the fact that he's made 3 batches of Janissaries makes me think that barracks should have been placed a bit forwards instead of just the 5 Jan, put some pressure and age.
And I like this from GiveUA. He's going to be trying to get down that Ottoman Explorer. We'll sacrifice a couple of musks here, and SoldieR actually just slightly running away. This isn't a good trade at all for GiveUA. Actually, it's pretty horrible for GiveUA. But yeah, he basically just lost like 4 or 5 musketeers for no reason. and didn't really get any utility out of it. But I liked when he was trying to snipe down the Explorer, but staying there wasn't the best idea. But I mean, you will be able to pump out units, and you do see SoldieR now having nearly enough to age up. But yeah,
and that's the other thing to notice as well, that because GiveUAnxiety wanted to put on the pressure onto the training line and contest it, and not allow SoldieR to have the entire route to himself. His mana count's below 100, so the British eco itself isn't the greatest. He has now sent 5 Vils behind this, but
I mean, it's not a surprise that GOA's mana count is below 100.
Oi, you balance. Remember, balance casting team. Come on.
Yeah, but if you've watched GUA, you probably know that he doesn't tend to build many manas. He's unique playstyle. But yeah, I mean, he is going to pick up 5 Jans here, which is quite nice. He is going to get the snare from the pikeman, which is also really nice. Actually, yeah, picking up 5 Jans here, sort of taking you back into the game. But SoldieR having the TP line, as well as having but basically the under H3s, GUA is going to have a lot of trouble, I think. Really dealing with a strong H3 play from Ottomans is, of course, probably going to go out with a scout. Exiled Prince even from SoldieR, so going to go up with a fast stage instead. Going to be able to get Falconets out earlier. Again, not a great trade here with his Janissaries, but again, I think he's able to take these trades simply because of the stagecoach line and also getting such an amazing trade next to the other trading post line earlier. I didn't repair that TP though. That's quite a mistake from SoldieR. That might go down really quickly with only 900 HP.
Yeah, I agree with that one, especially when the repair cost is pretty cheap. Didn't let me find out how much that repair cost is. It's probably about a quarter of the price of the TP, about 50 woods, because you got half HP and repairs about half price. Yeah, so some cheap builders building a repairing that training post. But look at this reinforcing Janissary batch from the defending the right hand side, moving over to the left. We'll pick a few units off here. First shipment from SoldieR
as well. That's quite big getting that pass. What's nice about Vivek is we can actually see we can see SoldieR's like clicks. If you click back on the Janissaries, it shows you what he's doing, which is really cool. Or did earlier at least. I don't think he's really doing anything at the moment, but actually, yeah, he's picking off a lot of those musketeers. Would have liked him to get veteran Janissary before taking that fight, but he did get the pass. I guess it sort of pays off for himself. But yeah, not the best position for GUA to be in here. Even SoldieR, that's GUA sending coin. I thought that was SoldieR sending 1,000 coin. But actually, I mean, SoldieR can do basically anything here, and he's in a massive advantage. Although he is lower in score, which is interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a shame that SoldieR took that fight with his initial batch of units, but another 5 Janissaries coming in, and then there's the 8 Janissaries being sent from the shipment, and then the veteran Janissary tech will come in behind this. So had so much more potential power play from those Janissaries, but upgraded veteran Janissaries versus Colonial Musketeers and Hussars. I think SoldieR will be like, yes, please, let me take that trade. He'd be very happy with that. Some Hussars raiding at base, but defended well by the 8 Jan shipments. At this point, SoldieR still having more XP coming in. He's not getting XP from the training post, but he does have a good XP progression from the units he's making and the fights he's taking. And to be fair, winning as well. Going for Janissary combat behind this, still making more Jans. Does have quite a bit of bank of resources available. 2 cows from a treasure as well. Quite nice addition, but they're only 70 food each at this moment. So Jan combat, not many Jans. The push ain't actually going to come in, and this gives time for GiveUAnxiety, which I think in this matchup is what you need.
Yeah, he just needs time here. Could you put it back on 2 speed? Just keep it on 2 speed?
Yeah.
Because 1 speed is honestly just
too slow, yeah.
Again, we have a problem where it's now too fast, but we can still commentate on what's going on, and we can keep in line with the...
Oh, you know I can fast commentate. Yeah. And they're off!
How is that training post still alive?
I don't actually know, but...
It's like 10 times. Yeah, GUA losing a lot of those Huss now. I don't know if he got many kills of those Huss. I know SoldieR likes doing this, by the way. He likes going for quite a heavy Jan mass. He did it versus me in an Auto Mirror. And then going for the Falcons, not going for sort of early Falcons like he normally
Wow. So 5 Jans from a batch of barracks just took down 5 Colonial Hussars without a single loss, and that's the power of veteran Janissary and Jan combat there. So that's a great pickup from SoldieR. And GiveUAnxiety is like, oh, I just lost my Huss from that raid. I want to go for another raid here. Runs past the trading post here of SoldieR. SoldieR does see this at the moment. He does see that there are Hussars on his way into the base. He's got another 5 Janissaries. Will we see the repeat of what just happened again? Hussars coming in the same path, going to engage in the... Well, Janissaries can engage. It's going to be close. Actually does get past.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, GiveUA's raiding, this is what he does. When GiveUA's behind, he will raid. And that's quite a good idea to do, actually. Just go around, be annoying, basically try and get your opponent off of resources and slow down their push and try and buy yourself some time. But the problem GiveUA has here is that SoldieR just has so much time. It doesn't, like, GiveUA is so far behind. He's raiding Ottoman, which obviously their villagers don't really matter anyway because there's Ottoman, you have about 10. And I mean, Mamluks now coming in. GiveUA does that's not Mamluks even switching to looks at Falconets from SoldieR. And what does GiveUA do? He's gonna have effectively worse units versus Vet Jan and Falconets. So as long as like 5 Huss don't just kill the 2 Falconets, Soldier's got. I don't see any way of him losing here.
He's also he's sending the 2 Falconets. He was going to send the Mams. He's decided against it. But the other thing to say now that he's got all this extra coin stacked up, this would be a great time to have his TPs onto wood, drop down an artillery foundry and go to pure Jan Abus as well. He's just still making that 1 unit composition, and actually this 1 unit composition is managing to work out really, really well, exploiting how the British civilization, they don't really deal that well versus other heavy infantry. Longbows don't fully counter Janissaries. They have a little multiplier. 2 Falconets, though, close to the Hussars. Looks like GiveUA doesn't see it and takes the villagers, and those Falconets survive.
Yeah, and even if those Falconets went down, I mean, I still think GiveUA is so far behind. SoldieR is stacking 1,000 coin. Isn't the best micro from SoldieR. Maybe even Mercantilism is worthwhile getting now. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, he needs to switch his. He needs to switch his TPs off coin. Although he now has 1,500, just get Mercantilism, get some more shipments in, and like even like Sparhay and stuff. It's just super strong versus HT Musks. And
Musketeer attack coming in from GiveUAnxiety here, but remember these are still Musketeers in the second age, only getting a 10% attack, no, 15% attack from this Musketeer card. But these Jans are veteran Janissaries, which is plus 20%, and the Janissary combat, which is also another 20%. So these Janissaries are so strong compared to the British Musketeers. 294 HP versus 150. They have twice as much HP and 5 more ranged attack, but the extra HP just means these guys stick around and just will not die. And I think GiveUA needs to change something up. Can he age it behind this? Looking at his eco, he's still making use. I don't think he can. Hussar's going to run straight into this Jan mass. What's going to happen here? He's just going to turn back. And let's speed things along here to see if we can get to the next fight. What's going on? Looks like Falks and Jans moving to the right hand side, and we'll come across these Musketeers, Hussars, and let's see how this goes. It's just going to run away, so not much to see there.
Yeah, the problem GiveUA has here is he's stuck in age 2. He can't age because he is aging, but he's going to be slow aging, and Ottoman just right clicks it and wins because GiveUA can't get the Falcons out. He basically needs to get the Falcons out or get a nice surround on the cannons with Hussars, but that's never going to happen. He's now going to lose his market. He's still only on 9 manners, which for British at this point it really isn't great. And does GiveUA have CM in? I don't know. I mean, CM could maybe turn the fight.
Oh, he does. He does. 112 siege anti-ship damage. He has sent colonial militia. I don't know when he would have sent that. He's got 2 shipments to send at this moment, and
what? I don't understand why you said CM here, but you haven't been pressured at your base for the whole time. Maybe he's just waiting to actually just pop it and surprise SoldieR. Although SoldieR probably will be clicking on that TC, seeing that 112 siege damage and realizing CM is in there. I need to get out of here. GiveUA again is just running around the map with Hussars, and SoldieR drawing out the game as much as he possibly can.
Oh, Soldier's waiting for the Mams, but the Falcons there's Hussars on the Falcons. The Jan's going to move forwards and protect the Falconets, so that's all fine. But I think SoldieR, he's conscious. He doesn't want to push in just yet when he's got such a power spike coming behind and being raided by 8 colonial Hussars at the moment. But there's enough vet Janissaries here in hand combat just to pick these guys off. And actually, the eco is from the trading post as well. So the raiding is nice, but you just at this point, that army mass is still growing. Here comes the Mams from the forwards town centre. And SoldieR with this localised force here, I'm sure it's going to turn back around. I don't think you need to send all this back for just these 5 or 6 Hussars here. Right, the SARS are getting out there, and let's move this wreck along just to see how it progresses. And then I think the right click here is coming from SoldieR. It's going to move down into GiveUAnxiety's base at this point, and well, I wonder how GA can survive this. He's up to the next stage, so he does have access to send Falconets, and Falconets is his first card coming in, and that's about a pop. So let's go into regular speed.
I mean, to be honest, if GA could get the shots off on those Falconets, and because he did stack those 2 shipments and has CM sort of stacked up, those MAMs are going to be quite difficult to deal with. But there's a lot of hussars on his field as well. And yeah, I mean, if he can get, is that 9 Musk popping?
9 Musketeers, but there's Mamelukes coming in onto the Falconets, so SAR's moving to body blocks. So that's a good position there from GiveUAnxiety. He's going to take a good fight here. Veteran Musketeers with the Musk attack, firing Hussars on top of the Falconets from Otto, not being well covered here from SoldieR, so that's a big pickup. The Falconets are shooting the manor houses. Here come the Minutemen Falconets, and
He's won. He genuinely won this. He shouldn't have won this game at all, but he's won. Like, he cleans up his army. He's just got Musketeers. He wants... I mean, Musketeer combat would have been better. These Jans are really, really strong at this point. But...
There's 9 more Musketeers as well, and even if he's pulling the Mamelukes in just as a base, still got 1 more Falcon remaining, and these Mamelukes is going to get stabbed down with the Musketeers in hand combat 15 times by 3. That's really nice. Vet Janissaries, they are carded, they are strong, but all this XP, GiveUAnxiety is about to send another shipment. 8 Janissaries behind this now. Those Mamelukes are basically down.
Yeah, 8 Musk is such a horrible shipment, but yeah, it's fine. It doesn't even matter. Although, to be honest, I mean, I don't know how good SoldieR's economy is, but he has had that 40 plan this whole time, and actually GA might still lose. He does have the ability to use CM. He needs to unqueue 3 of those Musks. Let SoldieR set underneath the TC and then just use CM, please, and then you win.
But look at his eco. He's got 60 villagers. I know that he's starting to run out of hunts, and that's going to be the deciding thing for GiveUAnxiety of how long he can sustain Musketeer production. But at the moment, the later the game goes on, it's slightly in favour, ever so slightly for British.
Go for an artillery foundry. Get those artillery.
Oh, here comes the Spahi.
Spahi aren't great though. Spahi are like in age 3, they're not amazing. You just need to be able to focus them down 1 by 1, and you're completely fine. About I don't know why GWA is pushing out. He has CM. Just go back, unqueue a couple of those hussars, utilize CM for the best of its ability. You know, SoldieR's just used Spahi, and then I mean he's cleaning up with Spahi, but he's losing his massive Musketeers, and that's all he's really got here. He hasn't got the hunt he needs, and SoldieR also been on two TCs this whole time. His economy is not that bad. So like GWA is, I don't know. GWA went from somehow coming back in the game, which he shouldn't have done, and then probably just forgetting he had CM. And imagine if those 15 CM came out on that fight as well as a 6 CM, he would just be completely fine. And he's just, I don't know, he's just...
He nearly has the resources for it as well, but he's training Falconets. And one thing I've noticed when GiveUAnxiety, he has really liked the Musketeer Falconet strategy for quite a lot of games I have watched. So I think this is GiveUAnxiety just doing what he knows best in situation. And versus this heavy infantry mass and a bit of cav, it does make sense to go Musk Huss at the moment. But no, Musketeer Falconet. But a single Hussar being trained there will get a second Falconet, but there's just not enough Musketeers here to defend from. Still more Spahi, but this is going to be a big pickup here.
What is 1 Falconet going to do? Like, SoldieR can just walk onto Falconets and shoot them. It's not going to make a difference. Like...
Oh, this slow speed is killing me. If I put it on fast, we get to see these villagers go down a little bit faster, I guess. But like, look...
Yeah, Spahi are really good at raiding as well. So...
Oh, Falconets, unprotected. The Musketeers, Hussars, top side.
Oh!
But the cavalry still focus on the villagers. SoldieR's focusing on the top side, but now he's going down to the Falconets. I think he's going in. Yeah, he stopped attacking the villagers. Have mercy on the villagers. Go for the Falconets, please. But SoldieR's right clicking. He's just going to go in. He's just going to go hand combat, thinking that these are some sort of pseudo Caroleans, but they're actually pretty good in hand combat and just wrecking through the Musketeers. Just with the Zuta, more stuff at principle here. Overwhelms the Falconets, picks off the Musketeers. All those villagers going down as well. And I think with no food income at this point, GiveUAnxiety surely will be tapping out the GG at the moment, and there is the GG being called.
Yeah, there's I don't know how GWA went from winning to losing to winning. I have zero clue, but if I don't know, I think it was just a mistake to push out there. What he had to do is he had to sort of bait SoldieR into next to the TC, cool CM, cool Minutemen, and just try and get an incredibly good trade there, which is obviously possible. And his economy behind that isn't bad. 60 villagers at that point is pretty good. But yeah, I mean, Ottoman, I don't know. I hate GUA had he just lost too many units randomly early on, and he didn't utilize the CM. Maybe he's in the chat. Maybe he can tell us. Maybe he just forgot that CM was a thing because it would have been so good.
I mean, I know, like that's like meant with like the best intentions, but like when you say, can somebody just check if he knows what CM does?
No. I think he sent it early on because he thought Ottoman was going to rush him, and he just completely forgot to use it. As it would have been so strong, but he did play very well. I mean, Ottoman versus Brit, I think it's quite a hard matchup to play.
Look at his fight as well. Like trading off unit for unit, and Ottoman units are stronger, so getting an equal trade here is very nice. But the SoldieR was able to reinforce this fight with the 5 Spahi shipments, as well as maybe a couple batches of Janissaries, where GiveUAnxiety was starting to run low on food, and the reinforcements just weren't there and coming there for GiveUAnxiety. But we look back a few of these times losing. Taking those musketeer fights versus vet Janissaries just wasn't working out there. Sending 5 Huss, getting picked off for no units there. Did send 9 Huss around this point and got a very good economic disruption, get a good raid in there. Quite a lot of villagers were just being idled, did pick off a couple, but actually just really ran SoldieR around and made the use of those slow-moving Janissaries having to defend from those mobile Hussars. But they started to actually get picked off in Ottoman's player base instead of pulling all 9 back for when the big fight happened. And that's probably the story of the game there, of SoldieR getting the TP control, Asian behind this, getting good trades with the Janissary, sending that Janissary combat card earlier and just winning any musketeer fight and then pushing out eventually. But I feel SoldieR could have right-clicked earlier.
Yeah, I mean, I think GUA played well. There was small mistakes, like he even said in chat that he forgot he sent CM, and I think CM would have just turned the fight. I mean, CM is effectively 15 veteran musketeers, which do die very quickly, obviously, because they do lose health. But 15 veteran musketeers for a bit of time, and if you could snare, if he can get 10 Jans out of it because of it, he wins there. And SoldieR was kind of all in there, really. Well, not all in, but he was behind on economy, and he just sent Spa, he just sent Mamluks. You know, he sent his 2 big shipments. There's not going to be much of a follow up. But Hazard asking if we can keep the Rex on 2 times speed.
It just doesn't. It kind of doesn't really work. We try, I guess.
Let's try a Rex with just 2 times speed the whole time, because 1 time speed is too slow, really, and we're also running out of time. We have to finish by 6 our time, or 6 GMT, for the other guys to get on as well. So I think it makes sense. And if this series goes 2-1, like you said you Harrison thought it was going to go 2-1 the other way in the first game, and GUA winning 2 more. So, and yeah, I think GUA is right here. 2 times for the most of the game, and then maybe 1 extra fight should be good.
I got to turn off the view lock. I forgot about that. I was wondering why my screen was going absolutely crazy here. So right, are you ready for a super fast cast? Because I'm ready for a fast cast. Right, we see GiveUAnxiety spawning into the right-hand side of the map, Punjab, in the colour teal playing the British, dropping down 2 manor houses here, so standard opening up from British. Explorer already in SoldieR's base somehow, amazing. Will he get the crack shots to steal the 50 coin? I'm not too sure he needs it. SoldieR playing as the French, spawning into the left-hand side of the map, in colour red, and he's already gone for the early TPs.
Yeah, I can't speak as quickly, but yeah, I mean, I don't even know what matchup is. Brit versus France, I think. So obviously, this matchup is, I think, probably Brit favored. Normally, what you do here is France is you go for an FI. That's one of the stronger ones you can do. I know Kaiser's been doing it, as I saw him get me.
This is insane. Watching back at fast speed is not working. Watching back at slow speed is not working. But
I think for age 1 and the stuff, this is better. The slow speed one's a bit stupid. But it's like watching Usain Bolt run around the map. It's quite funny to watch. Imagine Fusiliers on this speed.
Oh wow! Or Chasky runners from Anchor. Let's talk about how fast they are.
So you know how Chasky runners get 8 speed now.
8 speed.
Chesky runners get 8 speed. They
Wow.
used to get 10.
No.
Before it was
10.
changed, they used to get 10 of a
That's
card.
breaking the speed of sound, that
Yeah,
is.
and they can go invisible and they can get shipments, so it's just insane. But yeah, we used to have 10. But yeah, I mean, this they have got to age 2 now. GUA is going to put down a barracks as well as an outpost and base by the looks of it, which is actually quite odd. That outpost is actually away from TC fire, so I don't really know why you'd put it there, but not.
It's
a small thing to
just about in range. So if you look at the town centre arc of radius, I think the range between this out circle to the outpost is more than the siege distance of infantry to the outpost. I think they both cover each other just about, so maybe that is a big brain play from GiveUAnxiety. GUA dropping down his 0 line of sight Mangrove Grove in the middle of the map. Let's look at the line of sight and see what he gets from it. Well, he gets diddly squats.
He gets 1, I think. He has 1.
I like the idea in theory, but I don't think GUA has read the patch notes and realised how that's changed.
Maybe he'll get the church and get the line of sight upgrade, and they can have 5 line of sight. But yeah, I think GUA just going for sort of standard Brit stuff now, going for some stuff around the map. Soldiers are what we really want to look at here, because I know an FI is probably on the cards for Soldier. It's not a bad idea to go for an FI. Let's
have a look at his deck. He's gone for his favoured 8 Musketeer card again with the Musketeer combat. No rendering plants in this case, or no 1000 wood as other cards instead of 8 Musketeers here. What do you think of that choice?
8 Musketeers instead of what?
Maybe like a 1000 wood.
Or 10 Jaegers, actually. It's not a bad card either. Yeah, I don't like 8 Musketeers. I think it's a pretty poor shipment, to be honest. As a whole, but I mean, I think GUA likes it. I think he included. Actually, funny enough, he talked about it on stream the other day about how he included it in his deck and didn't used to, but apparently he's playing better now since he's including it. So I don't know, but can you have a look at Soldier's deck, because Soldier is
playing as France, and yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that, because I'm glad you mentioned that, because the meta for France versus British in these style of games on land maps with trading post line is actually a fast industrial from the French, and open up first cards in the 4th age, 4 call for Rins usually to go with the 2 Falconets on the age up and then push from there. So we'll have to see if that's the plan from Soldier. Could also just use that as a kind of a ruse and stay age 3, but I'm sure Soldier's got a plan. He's going to stay with that one.
So what I like about Soldier's deck is, if you look at it, it has like a viability in every range. You have viability in age 2 of those 600 wood, 700 wood, 700 coin, as well as the 2 unit shipments. You also have viability in age 3 of all shipments in age 3, and you're not really missing out on anything here using this sort of deck. You do miss out on 7 skirmishes, but versus Brit, I mean, 7 skirm you can sort of do without and still do fine. But yeah, age 4 is really strong. What you do is you go for a musked. You basically produce musks in age 2 and in age 3, as France said, and then you switch over. You basically just go musk heavy cannon, or musk Colv heavy cannon, or something like that, and then you ship a strong sort of 6 cuirassiers, and then you go in against British. You have the economy with the factories, and you end up being, I would say, probably the advantage against the France if you FI. But of course, Brit can play in age 2 and sort of take out a lot of the French base, which is what you want to do. But GUA playing a bit more passive actually than normal, going for his sort of raiding style again, which he likes to do. What he does is he goes around with like a couple of musketeers. It works versus actually a lot of players. You'll be surprised how many players this works versus. Just going for sort of small musketeer raids, 2 musketeers off to the side, or 4 musketeers off to the side. But again, he's just kind of deleting units here. He deleted 3 or 4 musketeers. Is using that explorer actually quite nicely, and somehow getting a nice trade here actually. Funny enough, making the best out of the worst, if you will. We'll end up probably losing more musketeers when he actually gains, especially with those 5 musketeers coming from the back. But yeah, GUA not getting an awful trade there. But again, he doesn't really want to be pushing in with just random units all the time. Against maybe like sort of major level players or lieutenant colonel level players, it works really well. But versus a player of sort of soldier stature, I don't think the strategy works too much in GUA's favor. If he were just to mass on musketeers, he knows Soldier's going to go for a greedier play of that FI deck. That you sort of catch him off guard that way.
Yeah, so I think in that situation, GiveUAnxiety's should I say, fault of the gameplay there was he could see his explorers on the top side near the French player's explorer. A couple of musks were moving out anyway, just because he hasn't seen too much of what the French player's doing. But every time there was a reinforcing batch of musketeers from SoldieR, GiveUAnxiety had another batch. So they're kind of coming in at like alternate times. So there's points where GiveUAnxiety had the power spike, and then SoldieR had the power spike. But because they were fighting close to SoldieR's base, by the time that third batch of musketeers even got produced, the fight was pretty much over at that point, and both players just trained off a couple of musketeers, but SoldieR already up behind this with that 4 villager, 700 coin, fast kind of age up to the next age, even aging with the exiled prince as well to get that fast age up. First card here, 1,000 wood. So 1,000 wood wouldn't be the card to send if you were going to jump to the 4th age. So this is where that versatility is coming from that you're speaking of. And I think SoldieR is already thinking about staying into the 2nd age. A couple more houses coming down. Training 3 will complete the batch for 5 skirms there. And it's just going skirm musk at the moment.
Yeah, so obviously, as I said, SoldieR can actually just continue playing age 3 here and it should be fine. I would put the speed up to the 2nd speed again. I don't think really much is going to happen here. GiveUA might go for a couple more raids, which he
just look at them. Look at the musks marching at twice speed. Their arms just go back and forth so quickly. But GiveUAnxiety's seen that there are veteran skirmishers out on the field from French, and that should be a good indication here to GiveUA that SoldieR is not sat in base making no units jump into the 4th age, but he is actually proactively gaining map control, making units and pushing out. But 1,000 coin has just come in from French here. He still hasn't actually gathered up all the wood behind this, and is he going to pull off all the coin miners at this point and now transition to a full food eco to get that age up in? I'm not quite sure. I think he's just going to use that time that he has to maximize the benefits of sending 1,000 coin shipments.
Yeah, so how much food is SoldieR on? He's only on 82, so he is getting away with these really impressive shipments, really. But 1,000, I would have just preferred him to FI here. I mean, imagine heavy cannons instead of that sort of musk skirmisher mass. He would have been GiveUA would have been able to push in, but would he really been able to do that much damage versus that musk when he's stuck in? He's now A3 himself, actually, come to think of it. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's now going A3 when you have such an FI deck. It would have been better to go FI here. And he's now stuck in age. He's stuck in age 2, age 3 even, not into age 4, and he's now shipping 8 skirm. And this actually might end up where stuff like not having 7 skirm in deck or not having 2 Falcons in deck. Actually, 2 Falcons not on the field for SoldieR. GiveUA could get a really nice trade here if he pushes in right now. He's got 2 Falcons on the field as well as a mass of musketeers, and so he's going to be fine. There's not really anything to take on those Falcons from SoldieR. So from GiveUA even. So I honestly think GiveUA is in a really really nice spot. One Dragoon just running around for GiveUA does get picked off, but if he can get a good trade of his Falcons, there's no Falcons on the way for SoldieR, and a lot of skirmishes he is just running. Yeah, he needs to get some shots off before the other Falcons come in, basically.
And the reason why this looks is very scary for SoldieR at the moment. He's gone skirmisher musketeer instead of skirm goon to overwhelm the Falconets from range, and just all the infantry are focusing down these siege pieces. So they're not trading the best, but picking off both Falconets one after the other, utilizing their long range and just focus fire. Actually, I'm not even too sure if Falk even got a shot off there. May have got 1 or 2 shots and picked off. He says a lot of splash damage on a few of these units, but splash damage doesn't matter if they're still standing. And here come more Falconets. So these Falconets...
More Falconets. Wow, actually, that's huge. The 2 Falconets coming in from the side, big volley. Only getting 1, actually.
Yeah, small volley. That's frustrating to see.
You need to be careful with those Dragoons on the side. Let's get some shots off from the Falconets. But SoldieR now sending 2 Falconets now, but he must realize that GiveUA does have an artillery foundry. And I think if GiveUA, if you look at GiveUA's production, if he's got a couple of more Falconets in, he doesn't.
No.
Imagine if GiveUA had sort of 2 more Falconets in, or was able to sort of pump out 2 more Falconets, and 4 Falconets just demolish 2, and SoldieR's not going to be getting an arsenal up. And I'm reading Kaiser's chat there. He's saying that France is in a way sort of out booming Brits, which is what's so odd. GiveUA only on 120 or only on 11 manners there. Probably can put down a couple more. Does have the wood in his coffers there. But But yeah, this is an odd game. Normally this matchup doesn't pan out like this. Normally Brit by this point in the game at sort of 12, 13 minutes has a massive mass, and actually Brit being the one being aggressive and France sitting back.
It's also a bit strange that I saw that 10 longbow shipment thinking, yeah, that's quite a nice shipment, but now he's upgrading to veteran longbows as well, and these are the units that do very, very well versus Skirm Goon, and to some extent veteran Musk as well. That's quite nice, but taking a full volley in the face on these two Falconets, already losing 2 units and 4 on very, very low health. This is going to be a cannon micro. Whoever wins this little micro game will be in a decent position to take the fight, but SoldieR squeezing every value of that 1,000 wood, 1,000 coin shipment. He just has a bigger mass and GiveUAnxiety. And soon would be in a great position to add a few Crassiers into his composition.
A lot of this is going to be down to who gets the Falcon micro. And actually, I think GiveUA might get this.
Yeah, go on.
Shots. Oh, they're just so close to each other. It's going to be so unfortunate that GiveUA is not really going to get the shots off, because now SoldieR's Falconets have been able to basically reset. Does get a shot off on the Skirms, but again, this is the mistake he's made. His Falconets need to...
Oh, GiveUAnxiety focuses the infantry mass, and he's just lost a Falconet to SoldieR leading that Falconet war now 2-1, and that's a fight GiveUA can't really win. And
GiveUA can't take the fight now unless he does something weird and goes to like a yeoman and then gets another Falconet out and tries to just snipe them down with a longbow. But yeah, I mean, SoldieR's on what, 37 villages? How many villages is GiveUA on?
He's on about 46, but the fact that
the French CDBs are much better. There's a bit of a raid down the bottom here, which is quite nice. But yeah, I mean, Cav combat now coming for France. France probably going to go for a career switch at some point. And yeah, I don't know. This is sort of stalemated. Both at sort of equal score. GiveUA still has the ability to boom a bit, but the longer the game goes on, the better it is for SoldieR. Almost certainly. There's the 2 TCs up. There's that even the TP at the bottom giving a bit of extra benefit. Is GiveUA queuing any more Falcons? Because that's really, really important. If he's queuing a couple more, he has that artillery foundry. That's what he needs to utilize. That's his advantage at this point. And he does have a Falconet in queue. Would like if he can get 2 out, which he has enough stacked. 3 Falconets. If he can get at least keep 2 of them alive or keep 1 of them alive, he's going to be in an incredible position actually. And there's a lot of Dragoons on the field for SoldieR, but there's not a lot of careers and other stuff.
What? What did you just say?
A lot of queers and other stuff. And other stuff. Yeah, maybe it doesn't sound too right, but
yeah, and I now know what you mean. When I first heard it, I'm like, what the? Excuse me. But I have to agree with you that I think SoldieR has overmade Dragoons here. I don't really expect that GiveUAnxiety is going to go for Hussar switch, but I'm not too sure that SoldieR is thinking that he's expecting a Hussar switch. I think he's just doing Skirm Goon as it feels safe. But actually, the strength in the Fortress Age for the French is actually their Crassiers and how upgradable they are with the Cav Combat, Cav HP, and Cav Cuirass upgrade from the Arsenal. So I think SoldieR is just missing a little trick here playing as the French here, not going for the Crassiers, but with 2 town centres, putting villagers straight into the berry bush, but that's okay. As the game goes on, SoldieR's just going to slowly creep ahead, but the scores are very close. This game is not over by a long shot.
SoldieR even sending refrigeration now. The problem GiveUA has here is he needs to push out. He needs to push out before France is able to get that basically a massive mid game economy and sort of push him off. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's all going to come down to if GiveUA can micro his Falcons correctly, split his Falcon fire, getting a nice raid at the top with Dragoons. There are some, I believe, Musketeers at the top there, which is quite nice. Nicely done by SoldieR actually there, keeping those back. And I think there's a couple of British Musketeers there. Is that just a British unit dead? It's just a British dead.
Yeah. What I've noticed, GiveUAnxiety, he has the ranged cav-free Caracal upgrade from the Arsenal, so props to GiveUA for getting the Arsenal down and upgrades in units. This is a good time for the Arsenal to come in. I would expect SoldieR to drop a Arsenal soon, but he has lots of villagers on the food and coin, enough wood income just to make a couple of houses, but he doesn't actually have much of a wood-based income behind this, so you can actually upgrade his units anymore. And I don't think either player has intentions of going to the 4th age at the moment, and SoldieR's still making Skirm Goon at this point, covering those 2 Falconets very, very well, if I may say so. But we're not expecting to see ranged cavalry caracol or counter infantry rifling for the skirmishers. There are a handful of vet musks out in the field, which would be quite nice, and even an artillery foundry to deal with GUA's 3 Falcons would have also been appreciated. So one or the other, but
I don't know. I feel like I think what GUA wants to do here is probably even make more Falcons. Honestly, he knows
he's going to take the fight. The soldiers might have to reload. He gets a great volley,
but he's now going to get caught up. There's nothing blocking these units, so does take out the 2 Falcons, and we'll get some nice shots off. But all those dragoons basically doing nothing. Is that another Falcon at the back? Yeah, another Falcon at the back. So GUA actually getting a very nice trade there. Soldier probably realizing that he needs to build an artillery foundry now. Although he can also just run in with massive dragoons he has and just one-shot the Falconet. But he will take a lot of damage in these longbows. Longbows doing exceptionally well against dragoons and exceptionally well versus the skirmishers. So GUA, I think, has the better combination of units here. But it's going to end up being that Soldier's now going to send in, ranged infantry attack, which is going to buff all his infantry, including musketeers and skirmishers, and he might actually just be fine. And there's no cuirassiers anywhere on the field. And I don't know, this is such a sort of back and forth game. GUA is, of course, behind on the economy, a bit pinned into his base as well, which is the negative he does have. But he needs a massive longbows, and just hope there's not that massive cuirass switch. He does go for, I think that's 5 Huss now coming in. Not the best shipment, I would say, because there's so many dragoons. But it's going to, I mean, if I was GUA, sell some more food, get sort of 3 or 4 cannons on the field. He's not even slacking that much in economy either, actually, kind of thinking. He's now on 200 mana pop, did get up towards that. And now finally getting a Hussar switch in by the looks of it. But I don't know if a Hussar switch is the correct thing to do here, honestly.
Yeah, I would prefer yeomanry at the moment being sent from GiveUAnxiety. You do see that most of your army, or opponent's army, is skirmishers and dragoons. Longbows do fantastic versus both. And if you can outrange the skirmishers, when you take a fight with a longbow, you're saying to your opponents, right, you're going to stay and fight me. Or if you do run away, you're still going to take extra volleys from my longbow as you run out of their range. So it's a really great card to have. And he's now going for Vet Hussar, Cav Cuirass. So what I like here, though, is, okay, GiveUAnxiety has sent 5 Hussars. Great. But now he's actually investing and he's actually upgrading those units. So they're not just colonial Hussars. And he's got 9 on the field at the moment. Cav Cuirass about to come in. And I think another fight's just about to happen. Skirmishers prodding in. But more Falconets being trained from GiveUAnxiety. And another good volley onto the skirmishers here. That is 2 dead units plus a lot of splash damage. And I think that's absolutely fine. But longbow count looking a little low at the moment. And
he needs longbow and he needs yeoman. As he can get so many more shots off, and actually, he needs to build those musketeers forward a bit as well. He's being a bit too passive with his army. I think he can get away with just pushing in those hussars, pushing back the French units, but he's not pushing at the top. If you look down the bottom, there's not really any French units at the bottom, so he knows all the villages are at the top. And he needs to push France off that mass. He doesn't know that there's that second town centre there, I guess. But he's sacking 1,000 wood there, GUA. So maybe getting another barracks open, getting more and more longbows out, and they're both getting close to 200 population here. Maybe it's time to age even as GUA. Do something what Soldier wouldn't expect. Soldier slowly creeping forward, but. No, GUA's got the economy behind us. He could age and get guard longbow and stuff like that. Just so insane.
Yeah, it's hard to say actually which Civ needs to be in the 4th age more. I actually think because of the longbows and how they play versus Skirmgoon, I think GiveUAnxiety is actually would be happy to stay in the 3rd age, but he doesn't really have the hunts or the map to kind of justify aging up behind, because if you age up, you do kind of give up a bit of map presence in the moment. So he's pushing out for his mid-map coin and hunts, and he's still training more Falconets here. But even if the Falconets pick off a couple of skirms and splash damage, it's a nice trade because the longbows can fire behind while one unit takes the damage, but then the skirmishers get wrecked by both units. And it's the more Falcons from here from GiveUAnxiety, I think, is a good call.
So, I mean, GUA's also got what? 10 Huss there, right? Or like, I think that's 8 Huss or 9 Huss.
9 Huss.
He could quite easily just split some off right at the top and just be a nuisance. He can buy himself a lot of time, get up himself. You see Cavalry Cuirass, but Soldier's going to get in a better economy as the game goes on. There's that 10 Musketeers going around to raid. This is what I like to see. I mean, this is what GUA is known for, going around raiding instead. And And now Soldier has to push here because he's going to lose what 10 villages.
Okay,
there, probably.
I think this is it. Like Soldier's actually pushing in. I did see he did train one Crassier somewhere. I don't know where it maybe counts. But there's the Falconets. Oh, he's got to pull him back. But the Longbow's going to try and take as many things. But he's right clicked a single Dragoon, so it's only one or two Dragoons going down at a time, and 2 Falconets basically picked off there for free. He does pick off many more Dragoons in retreats. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 dead Dragoons there. So in terms of numerical resources, actually not that bad. But you'd rather have the Falconets there just to entice the enemy in. Needs to unpack. And okay, this is gonna be a big volley. Here we go. Yeah, look at the +12s there, and now the longbows are firing. And Soldier Soldier's trying to age. Soldier is trying to age, but he's abandoned that now. Double Crassier is being produced behind this. He's caught in between a rock and a hard place, as they say.
The thing is, do you age the Soldier here? Because your economy is at the top, right? Most of Soldier's economy is at the top. GUA has a lot of siege here, but it's only really 3 Falconets, and actually there's going to be apparently just more Musketeers going up in the start. I think you age it, and you go for something like 2 heavy cannons, and you utilize the 2 heavy cannons to just basically demolish it. Like, I don't know. I honestly just think you age. You age at the top TC. You hope that there's not enough siege, and GUA is a bit pensive, and you get the benefit there.
I think both players are postulating to age up at the moment. We do have GiveUAnxiety 1,700 food and coin at the moment. Soldier as well, similar stacks, but he's now training 6 skirmishers and 4 Crassiers behind. I think Soldier has decided he doesn't want to age up and he's going to take the training host line instead and just try and maybe just outmaneuver GiveUAnxiety with his mobile Dragoon force, because it's such larger than GiveUAnxiety, but GiveUAnxiety is in Soldier's base with Falconets and Dragoons, and this cav switch from Soldier, 5 Crassiers about to come out, but there's enough Dragoons here, and I think training your first batch of Crassiers at 22 minutes just doesn't feel to be the play. But here come backdoor raid from Crassiers. Dragoons are at the front of the line here. Actually, those Crassiers can get in and get the big pick-off where he wants.
Yeah, I don't know. Those Crassiers are really slow, but actually GUA knows put it too far forward. Actually, thankfully for GUA, the Crassiers on the wrong point, but this is where Crassiers with no Musketeer backing up are so good. Even though he's got so few Crassiers, even some skirmishers on those Falconets do clean them up. And I think this is Soldier's fight to lose here. Although, yeah, I don't know.
Look how fast all those longbows basically dropped there with a couple swings from the Crassiers, but now the skirmishers who are not being targeted by the longbows due to that French heavy cavalry taking all those longbow shots. The skirmisher war is now firmly favouring Soldier. So now that Soldier doesn't have to continuously make skirms, he can now focus on other units like the Crassiers and maybe a few more Dragoons. And now GiveUAnxiety's thinking, oh my god, I need to remass all my longbows at the moment. He's sending 9 musks now, making 3 more Falconets. So, but he needs longbows to even deal with those Dragoons from Soldier.
I don't think you make Falconets here. I think you go like through your axe bow or something, and Soldier is getting raided at the top here, so this is sort of a war for attrition at this point. But yeah, GUA, I don't know, Soldier's just got more upgrades on his units. He has cav combat and stuff like that in. This time that GUA is buying is losing him units, and there's no hunt on the map at all for GUA, so actually Falconets might actually be the smarter choice. You don't need food for it, obviously. And yeah, I don't know what GUA does here. This seems like that massive fight at the end, no longbows backing up, no Musketeers backing up, sort of may have lost him the game, actually. He looked in such a strong position. GUA obviously behind an economy now, not having that not having...
We had Falconet sieging the TP a little bit far forward, enticing Soldier's cavalry just to come in and try and pick off those Falconets, but it looks like GiveUAnxiety was quick enough to respond, putting his Dragoons in front of the Falconets, and Soldier is going to back off for another day, but moving his skirmishers and Dragoons topside. But GiveUAnxiety on plantations in his base, 1 plantation made already, and
plantations are so slow,
especially before you're in the industrial age. It's just it makes now reaching the industrial age just so much more of a challenge at this point. And here comes Crassiers at the top to try and raid.
The GUA is in his base, which is good, but yeah, I think it's difficult here for GUA. Because he's got the 3 Falconets on the field, but he has no mobility. That's what Soldier has in his advantage. Does Soldier have stuff like Advanced Arsenal deck as well, which is going to end? Is getting to a sort of point of a game where sending those strong shipments in H2 shipments actually ends up mattering. I don't know if GUA doesn't actually have advanced arsenal normally, which is one of the things I actually would normally include in a British deck.
So we need to remember how Soldier had a hybrid deck of three strategies: H2, 3, and 4. No advanced arsenal, but does have the 2 cav upgrade cards, which he has. He's sent all of them now.
He even sent pioneers, so he's his villagers are going to have like 400 HP or something ridiculous. So
360, yeah, good shout.
360, yeah, but there you go, 360, yeah. But yeah, I mean, I honestly, I think this is still a game where either of them can win. It just depends entirely who gets the advantage. At GUA, putting down plantations, I'm not too sure about, honestly. I would have preferred probably going for mills instead, actually, going for sort of a couple of mills. And actually, you can see he's actually
he's got mills. He's got a lot here. Because he has to. He has to. The natural resources are out.
I think what you do is you go mills and you just go for sort of maybe even longbow pike at this point. Maybe not longbow pike. You probably just go longbow goon. You utilize the goons you already have, and the difficulty here for GUA is he hasn't got refrigeration. He hasn't got sort of royal mint in deck like Soldier does, and I think it's just going to end up being whoever has the better deck at the end of the day. And even though Soldier has this sort of FI focused deck, GUA hasn't sent stuff like Musketeer Grenadier combat. I don't think he sent Cav combat even. And if you have a look at GUA's deck,
he sent Cav combat, but Musk combat still yet to be sent. But he does have all the H2. He still has all the H2 cavalry upgrades to send as well. Yeah. But because you're playing as the British civilization, you need to remember that the H2 Cav, they affect both the Dragoons and Hussars, so very, very upgradable units. But I think this is where those Dragoons go, and there's a lot of heavily upgraded Cuirassiers here. Look at that, 700 HP, 39 attack, and the fight's going to happen, but Dragoons from Soldier quite happy to take this.
A couple of Dragoons getting taken down, and again, it's just a massive war for attrition. Soldier, I think, still has the better economy. It's probably time actually to get some of those upgrades from that native TP. I think one of them has, I think they have as an upgrade in there which actually benefits your units quite a lot.
There's one which busts your villagers on the mills, but the others are not. They're both Audacy. It's just a mill upgrade there, but 10% at this point in the game, quite nice.
And even mixing in Audacy, you see GUA's population there capping out on 200. I don't know what Soldiers is at, but probably close to it. Yeah. And even if those units are pretty terrible units actually, but adding in sort of like 15, 20 of them just to soak up damage or do a little bit of damage on the side isn't a bad idea. And
time out. Both players have great eco. Soldier's eco is better, but GiveUAnxiety is about to get trapped here from Soldier. Soldier moved in from behind. I want him. Well, pardon me. I want him to move a little bit more down, so he literally is in between GiveUAnxiety's army and the way home. A couple of Falconets. He can't really move this. Cuirassiers moving to the south side. I think the Dragoons are going for the Falconets kill here, but there's a lot of longbows focusing down the Dragoons. We've got 5 more Cuirassiers being trained from Soldier to reinforce this. Losing that stable wasn't the greatest, but those Falconets are going down at the moment. Only 1 Falconet remaining, but being focused down by the Cuirassiers. I think actually that Falconet should stay alive at this point, but again, all the Dragoons and Cuirassiers taken to fire, but the skirmishers still stand strong, and that's a big pickup there.
How many Falconets? There's still a Falconet left, and actually, I think GUA might have even got quite a good trade. They're now going to pick up a couple more Cuirassiers on the back foot. Although, units coming in from the back, there's enough longbows there to deal with those Dragoons. That Falconet is going to go down. So actually, not a terrible trade considering the circumstances here for GUA, especially those units at the back. And but I think Soldier just has the remask potential here. So this trade, even though it wasn't terrible for GUA, it's ended up being not the greatest. He is going to utilize those Dragoons he has just to raid around, but there's those skirms are so good now. I think they have 2 or 3 cards on them for Soldier, and this is where the game kind of ends. And unfortunately, the French villagers 360 HP. They're not going to go down too quickly from those Dragoons.
Pioneers OP confirmed, but it's quite interesting. Dragoons hand attacking CDBs bypass their melee resist, and also Dragoons in hand combat. They don't have a negative multiplier versus villagers, so that's actually good. It's a good strategy there from.
They also attack twice as fast. So they actually end up doing 30 damage in melee for the same damage at 31, but obviously basically you quadruple your damage versus CDB when you put Dragoons in melee, which is quite interesting.
Anyway, I think it's fair to say Dragoons raiding aren't the greatest, and then that allowed Soldier to overwhelm GiveUAnxiety's remaining army there of longbows to pick them up in a really good trade there. GiveUAnxiety is now seeing new Paris being made at the top side of the map, thinking, oh, this is where all the French eco has been gathered. Dragoons moving forward into the skirmishes. Skirmishes, if they do get evolved, should pick off quite a few units here. One going down, two. But once they move into the actual range fire instead of hand attack, more Dragoons will go down. But this cavalry mass of soldiers now starting to grow, and now SoldieR, when he does make Cuirassiers, they are scary because you've just lost your Dragoon mass from GiveUAnxiety's point of view.
I don't know. I think SoldieR, you just age here. You know, GUA is lacking in the economy. You know your economy is better, but you said refrigeration, you said stuff like that. You have enough to age. You've got all the cards in age 4. And GUA's army is just not going to be able. You can just secure it easily, or of course you can just go for a mass in age 3 as you're doing now, and then just basically run over GUA. But yeah, I don't see SoldieR losing from here. It'd be very difficult to. GUA, of course, is going for again for more falconets, but there's just so many Dragoons on the field, so many Cuirassiers on the field, but you need sort of Musk Longbow or Musk. Yeah, you need Musk Longbow Goon or Musk Longbow Huss or something.
I think you just need a miracle, to be honest, because French is pushing out at the moment, and you've only now just sent your cavalry damage attack card, but you've just lost all your Dragoons. So it's frustrating to see such a great card for Dragoons, specifically the cavalry attack. Dragoons now 35 range attack versus soldiers 31. More falconets being made here from GiveUAnxiety. That will do well versus this skirmisher mass, which was able to dominate GiveUAnxiety's longbows from the last engagement. So GUA knows the skirms are there, but enough Cuirassiers should be enough to overwhelm. But is he waiting for another batch, or is he aging up? Nope. He's aging up. He's aging up, and he's got 10 Cuirassiers in queue at the same time. So this is a power play. This is.
I mean, all you do here as soldiers, you go for a massive Cuirassiers. You get in the gendarme upgrade. Then they're so strong in H4 with gendarme upgrade. And he's even getting the church upgrades in here. You go for mercantilism, you go for the factories probably, or even you just go for something like four coves or 2 heavy cannons. You're having 6 falconets here. So he's going all in on the falconet production, which is incredibly slow because of the plantations. But yeah, I mean, what you do here as SoldieR is you just go for those strong H4 shipments, even shipping something like 6 Cuirassiers plus the gendarme upgrade on the extra Cuirassiers you already have is just insane. With all those upgrades.
I love how GiveUAnxiety is slowly crossing the map, being very tentative and not wanting to risk losing his falconets to some sort of surprise bunches of units, but actually, no, it's SoldieR who's up into the next stage. 3 culverins being made as well, and where are those Cuirassiers from SoldieR? I think he cancelled that big batch just to go to get 4 culverins out, and 4 culverins versus 6 falconets. You don't often see this, but what a time to have those culverins. And oh my god, look at the volley from the falconets.
The thing is here, if GUA were to
oh my god, look at that! There was 8 skirmishes going down. SoldieR is not actually microing down the falconets that well. There's still 3 remaining. Okay, now 2 remaining. He's got it, but the skirms are gone. The falconet, they've done their job. They've been so worthy there. That was a great use of them so far.
At the same time, now SoldieR's getting in the age 4 upgrade. He got mercantilism in. He's going to get loads of shipments in just a minute, and I mean, GUA's push share is incredible. I don't know how he got so many kills with those falconets on all the skirmishes, but again, what do you do against an age 4 player who has the more economy than you? Going to have factories out and going to have sort of heavy cannons out and stuff, and your only prize of that is going sort of longbow, goon, and falconet. It's just not going to go well, and yeah, I don't know. I mean, GUA has a small timing here, but again, his score is down 50 points, and 50 points is roughly, I think, 5,000 score.
Yeah, let's look at GiveUAnxiety's not macro or available bank, shall we say. He's spending those resources as they come in. He wants to try and, well, end it now, because I think he realizes if he sits back any longer, he just doesn't have the time to age up behind, and he knows that SoldieR is ahead economically, so he just wants to try and do what he can, but he's been stumped by this wooden wall in front of France's base. He doesn't know how to climb the wall or go around the wall. Trying to go through the wall, but the longbow, they're just terrible siegers, and SoldieR just has the time behind to do what he needs to do. He's even getting the 3rd upgrade for the plantations. That is mega. Yeah. That's mega expensive. That is so expensive. 600 food, 600 wood, and I mean that's a sign. That's a sign he's comfortable. He's even going upgrading his coin on the factory. I'm still waiting for more units from SoldieR. He does have he does have the population space, and actually I think when you got better eco anyway, you just trade it. And I'm waiting to see guard dragoons because he's got so many dragoons here. That'd be great, but he hasn't quite got the resources for it just yet.
Yeah, he's sort of missing out here on getting some of his guard upgrades, which are so important. Again, I mean, you can go. I think he can just go full guard goon here. GiveUA's got basically no longbow. Doesn't have any coming on the field by the looks of it. And we do see guard something coming in. I don't know.
Yeah, guard dragoons is on its way at the moment. SoldieR now 3 barracks making skirmishes behind us, but if you've got just a single guard unit in your composition, then it's just so much stronger than what AoE3 has. The guard upgrade is so much better than the veteran upgrade. It's a 30% attack HP. It's such a big power spike. Second factory coming in because he's not pressured to send either his unit shipments, the 14 skirms, 6 cuirassiers, or 2 heavy cannons. So second factory, it's just such a fantastic eco position here for SoldieR. And I think SoldieR, you've got to remember, tournament game, so doesn't want to do anything too stupid here. He's just going to sit in base and wait for these eco shipments and improvements just to roll in and wait for GiveUAnxiety's reaction. But GiveUA, well, he doesn't really have that reaction to punish what SoldieR's doing. So it's going to be a slow and painful death here for GiveUAnxiety, I feel. And that's just stating the facts, like we say. I don't see how he's going to come back into this one. Factory about to drop from SoldieR, and maybe he's waiting for guard skirmishers. Yeah, voltigeurs coming in from France at the moment. So we're going to have guard dragoons and royal guard skirmishers out on the field. Sounds like you're chatting to the chat again, Riot.
No, I'm not. I was typing to Kaiser, but
oh, Kaiser friends, Kaiser friends.
Do you know what's funny? Like only British people will get that message.
Yeah.
I think SoldieR's in quite a commanding position. And GiveUA is, of course, producing a lot of units here. Even going for a Huss switch, which I'm slightly confused by, because there's so many dragoons on the field here. I think actually falconets again wouldn't be a bad idea. Although SoldieR got the Colvin Royale upgrade. GiveUA fighting to the last man here.
Well, he's aged to the 4th age and aging up with 2 falconets as well. Has enough wood and coin to upgrade to guard dragoons, and remember these are triple carded units. Could even go for King's Life Hussars if he wants, or Life Guard Hussars, the Royal Guard Hussar upgrade here. But versus this massive dragoon army, I think just going guard dragoons is what he wants. Falconets moving forward, trying to get good volley, but in range of the skirmishers. That's a good volley as well, but the dragoons they can't take on the falconets. This is nice, but the guard dragoons just going to rip down this wall and charge in. GiveUA not upgrading his units just yet, sending 3 Congreve rockets behind this. Can he hold out until those rockets turn up? I think SoldieR's going to push in, and actually GiveUAnxiety appears to be actually looking to take the fight as well before a guard upgrade comes in. So he's got to be.
Here's the thing. I mean, GiveUA obviously is sort of stuck in base, right? But I feel like SoldieR can do anything here. He's taking a lot of his units out. He's killing a lot of his longbows, but he can just even go age 4, I think, or age 5 even. Simply because, I mean, what is GiveUA going to do against a bastion walled and France with a mass amount of guard goons and stuff? I don't know what he does. He can't really do anything, and then you just go massacre, and like you can see SoldieR's stack it. He could go age 5 very, very easily.
Look at this. It feels like we're back into the medieval times. 2 artillery foundries outside of GiveUAnxiety's stronghold. Looks like SoldieR's about to lay siege. Wow, look at that volley from the 3 rockets. About 10 scums going down there, and this is a big push out from GiveUAnxiety. This is the time he needs to make, and actually SoldieR, where's the rest of his units? Yeah. He's making a few more, but guard goons and rockets at the same time. And King's Lifeguard Hussars. I didn't expect him to afford all 3 of them. That is impressive.
GiveUA, the artillery god. Artillery bringing him back into the game over and over again. Look at this, insane. Like, rockets are so good versus goons. It's actually insane because they don't have any negative multiplier. A bit like little bombard.
Oh, wow. I've just noticed that. Yeah, that is impressive. So
they do 300 damage base. Little bombards used to have the same feature, but they got nerfed because of someone saying they should get nerfed. But yeah, he's going to take down these buildings, and GiveUA pushing back SoldieR. fighting on still. But again, I mean, Soldier's got such an economy now that he can do a lot of stuff wrong and still be fine. But again, he's going to get nice shots off of these rockets, and
that's so like yeah, focusing down the rockets with goons is a nice idea, but it just allows the rest of the army here from GiveUAnxiety to get basically some free damage here. But I think just the numbers here from Soldier is just overwhelming. The reinforcements should be great. 5 horse artillery behind, but there's no longbow here, so the horse artillery itself is a little bit questionable. But if you have the resources and the population, well, you might as well, because I don't think Soldier wants to go to the 5th age. I think he just wants to spam units and spam British player here. He knows he's got the better eco. He knows that GiveUA's only just got up and sent the 3 rockets, so he doesn't have the factories out yet, getting that extra eco for himself there. And actually looking at GiveUA's village count, 95, very high, but not 99. Just getting his first factory now, but here come the Voltigeurs, Guard Dragoons, and Horse Artillery. Could even go for heavy Horse Artillery if he remembers that tech.
Yeah, actually, that tech's really cheap as well. It's 500 resources for 25% bonus, which is really, really strong. But that's a lot of guard goons from GiveUA going over to the side. Those do, of course, have the British upgrades at the tournament as well.
Soldiers taking no chance. Triple outpost.
Outpost.
I like that. I like him just like actually thinking, how can I lose this? Is if I get push out too far and over kind of compensate, so the outposts work as a nice little insurance policy, so you can fall back to if he does overextend. But I'm just waiting for the gendarmes to come in from Soldier any point now. He's got mass cavalry, but I don't think he's going to go for the the Royal Guard Cuirassiers here, because he just knows. 14 skirms as well to the outpost is going to be that's a nice shipment and waypoint. He's going to push in now. So those guard goons, you got many Royal Guard French skirmishers.
Yeah. Taking down this infrastructure is huge as well. I mean, it's going to take a long time for GiveUA to get back onto it. Now he's running in to try and get out those Minutemen, even coming in as well, actually. Those Horse Artillery are going to take some damage from the Dragoons. But again, I mean, there's so many Voltigeurs here. The Voltigeurs, or however you say them, have 26 attack, 200 HP, or near enough 200 HP. They're just going to be doing so well against these Goons. And even the Horse Artillery at the back there, pounding down the Goons. And this kind of looks like the end of the game. Well played by GiveUA here. For holding on for so long as well, and actually being very, very close to winning it. I think it was back and forth for a while there. A bit unfortunate losing a lot of those Falconets to Dragoons, but it does take the series to 2-2. But incredibly well played by GiveUA here.
Yeah, 2-0. But that's the closest game of the day so far, and probably the most exciting one as well. So that's a real good one to enjoy that. And I'm just sure both those players just sat there going, we know what's coming up, and that one didn't disappoint. The French eco though, just the boomed on that second town centre is actually one thing I do notice is quite a lot of that used to be like the big meta back in like early EP, maybe RE is 1k wood first, second town centre, but I don't often see 2 town centre French play that often, so it's actually quite nice to see Soldier dropping that early town centre with the resource crates and playing on from there instead of being the aggressive age 3 style of send your first card being maybe the 5 goons and then the 2 falconets and just continuously play from there. So a different way of playing this matchup. Tended to a bit of a longer game there, but it worked out in the end. Let's look at the all resources gathered and see what the discrepancy is. And it was actually really close for the majority of the game, but once that second town centre really basically produced about 15 to 20 vills, it just took off. And then the 4th age, the factories, was just ever growing that distance. GiveUA just didn't get those factories out in time. We sent 1 factory card, but the rockets were needed to defend. And I think it was the ends game there from Soldier was steady. He didn't risk it. He didn't take it too slow. He just did what he needed to do to win that one. So I appreciate taking a tournament game very serious. But look at these military fights. Almost identical military lines throughout. Just even trades and fights, and quite a lot of those fights involved multiple pieces of artillery, which just so much population to lose. They can do so much damage as well. It just really was a close game there. So I enjoyed